Okay guys, so today we're working on the 2009 to 2015 Audi A4 with the 2.0 turbo engine, replacing the high pressure fuel pump. First thing we need to do is remove the engine cover. Just pull up on it slightly, and it should pop right off to the side. So what you notice is the main fuel line to the engine. We need to remove that. Remove the little clip with a small pair of pliers. Now this will be under pressure, wear safety glasses, and have the engine off for quite a while. You're going to pull back a little bit, relieving the main pressure, which should only be about 10 to 15 psi, so a little bit will spray out. And then you should be good. I clog up the fuel hose with a bolt to not let anything else fall into the fuel line and contaminate the fuel. And it makes it pretty easy if you just slide this out of the way. Now there's a 16mm nut that actually holds onto the bottom. This is the high pressure side of the fuel, which now that you've disconnected the pressure, you should be fine. And almost no fuel leakage will occur right here. Hard to see right now. I have a better view of it when we're putting it back together. But just need to get that loose. And the hard line will stay in the car. Once you get it loose enough, you can unthread it by hand. So now with that hard line off, we're going to use a 10mm triple square bit, or it could possibly be a T30 Torx bit on the different models. You have to use a long one. A short one won't sit against the high pressure fuel pump well, but this long one gets right in there the way you need it to be. Just unthread that. The bottom one is kind of a struggle to see, so you'll get a better picture of it when I take it out, but you kind of have to just feel for it. There's no way to really see it. I tried to get a camera angle on it. And if you have noticed, there's an electrical connector on top that I already did disconnect. Forgot to catch that on video, but you do need to disconnect that connector as well. So now with these two bolts loose and that nut on the bottom loose, you are free. Just need to pull back slightly and slide it out of its housing. And you can see that right where that last little bolt is. So now I'm replacing mine just because of a O-ring seal leakage. If you are replacing the high pressure fuel pump for a leakage issue or anything else or faulty, you will need to make sure you order it with the adapter kit. Most times this comes with the brass adapter into the fuel pump. As you see, this is the hard line and stuff is the kit that it comes with. Most times they send you the hard line, but I've never had to replace it, just the brass fitting to make it adapt to your new high pressure fuel pump. But I'm just replacing it for the O-ring was actually leaking oil outside of the engine. So I just need to replace the O-ring. Once I slide the O-ring up, I slide the O-ring up, I put a little silicone grease on there to help slide into the housing and protect it on reinstallation. Try to align that hard line up as much as you can as you're putting it together. Make sure your housing's clean. But once you kind of get this thing into place, the hard line usually falls into place. You won't have much trouble with it. Now we're placing the first screw in place, just kind of threading it part of the way. You don't want to tighten one side all the way down before the other. You want to make sure it kind of goes in uniformly. And again, we're going after that bottom screw that you really can't see, but I'm going to start threading that in. And I'm using an extension on this one, just makes it easier to get. Again, you can't really see the progress, but I am screwing that in. Tighten that one down, and then tighten your other one down all the way. Should be seated. And now there is that nut on the hard line that we got to get back up onto the fitting for the high pressure side. There's no sealant or anything that goes onto that nut. It's just a National Pipe Thread MPT fitting that seals itself as you tighten it down. Use the wrench. Snug it down. You don't need to go overzealous on this. Just get it snug and nice and tight. Okay, now with install, we need to just reinstall, or make sure your bolts are tight, and then we just need to reinstall that fuel line. With those bolts snug down, grab that fuel line, remove the bolt from it, or whatever cap you put in place. Slide that back in the direction you need it to go. Reconnect your electrical connector. Like I said, slide that fuel line on. Slide your clamp back in place. Reconnect the electrical fitting. And your high pressure pump is good to go. What you need to do is start the vehicle and let it run for a minimum of 10 seconds to check for leaks. Make sure you do that electrical connector, or you will have a check engine light on and not proper fuel pump. If you're all free of leaks, then you're good to put it all back together. If you actually did replace the high pressure fuel pump for a leak issue, or was leaking fuel backwards into the engine, you'd need to actually change the oil on it. But if you're just replacing it for this O-ring like I was, all you need to do is put this cover back on after you've run it, and you're good to go. This is quite an easy task. It takes about a half hour to do. Yeah, I'm Joe the Auto Guy. Thanks for watching this video. Hope it helped you. Please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and my email's down below.